Okay, I really enjoyed making the last Manny Pacquiao video. I love the different varied opinions on what I said with, Manny Pacquiao being the greatest boxer that's ever lived, and that's my opinion. And I wasn't saying that it's, I don't mean that literally, but it's my opinion. I think he's the best fighter. I think his achievements are the best, but obviously not everyone's going to agree on that, and that's what makes it fun. It'd be pretty boring if every single person agreed with me, even though obviously you don't kind of want everyone to disagree with you, but a lot of you do disagree. Now listen, this isn't a boxing channel. I've actually got a separate boxing channel, but the reason why I've put these videos out on this channel because I think it's such a big event, even if you're not that into boxing, this Pacquiao-Errol Spence fight is a massive event, and I just wanted to celebrate Pacquiao's whole career. And some of you did ask me on this channel, to make videos and speak about people that have inspired me, books that have inspired me, and I just thought it makes a change from me always telling my story and, helping guys with their dating issues and their anxiety issues, even though I enjoy doing that. I'm going to get back to doing a lot of that, by the way. Now we've come out of lockdown, I can imagine a lot of you are struggling with your dating. It's been challenging for all of us, myself included. So I'm going to start sharing more dating advice and experience so you can get more confident and build better relationships with women and have more confidence in that area, because it's a really difficult area for guys, especially after going through a pandemic and being in isolation for so long now. It's what is it, a year and a half, coming on 2 years. It feels like 10 years in isolation. So it's nice to vary the content, keep it fresh, keep it fun. And at some point I will do live streams again. I've just been quite busy, if I'm being honest, trying to keep my mental health good and spending time with my family and doing other things. All right, so let's get into this fight. Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao. Now, a lot of you are saying, right? A lot of people are saying, Pacquiao shouldn't be taking this fight. He's 42 years of age. He's too old. It's risky. Errol Spence is a young man. I think he's in his early 30s, or maybe just 30. He's dangerous. He's big. He's strong. Now, look, I agree on that on many levels. And if you go back on some of my earlier videos that I've done on my Let's Talk Boxing channel, I'll leave a link below, right? I'm not trying to really promote it. This is my main channel, but I did that channel as a hobby, as some fun, and it's kind of taken off. So I don't have any pressure to grow it or like this channel. I just make videos whenever I feel like it and talk boxing with other boxing fans and enthusiasts who love the sport. So initially, I didn't like the idea. If you go back to some of my videos, they're on the channel, I said I don't want Pacquiao to fight Errol Spence or Crawford because I think it's dangerous. At this point of his career, it would be heartbreaking, and I wouldn't want to see Manny getting beaten up, especially when I know he could beat these guys in his prime. But the reality is he's not in his prime anymore, and he's 10 years plus older than these guys. These guys are young and they're still peaking. I wouldn't even say Errol Spence is in his prime. I'd say he's still, yeah, he's in his prime, but he's still developing. He's still going to get to his prime. I think there's a lot more in the tank, so that makes him very dangerous. And out of all the fighters to pick, you can't really pick a more difficult fighter than Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. Errol Spence being a southpaw, he's tough, he's intelligent, he goes to the body well. He's got a good chin. He's tough. He's everything that makes a great fighter. So Manny he's not given himself an easy payday or anything like that. But I thought about it, right? Now, on another side, I think a lot of you could be wrong, and I could be wrong, because look, we're so obsessed today with age, and I'm 37. I'm not far off, coming to 40, and I do think we live in a culture where, if you call it ageism, where it's almost like when someone turns 40, they're gonna, they're old. They need a walking stick, and the reality is it's really not like that. 40 years of age probably years ago felt old, but today, with all the new products and the diets change and the way humans are evolving in science, 40 is not old, or even 42. But yeah, in terms of boxing, it's not a spring chicken. But look, we have to be honest, right? Manny Pacquiao is not your average 42-year-old. Actually, there's going to be hardly no 42-year-old on planet Earth. To be honest, the only guy I can think of, right, and he's not a boxer, the only guy I can think of is David Goggins. Now, I'm sure there's going to be other guys out there that are very fit, but I'm going to the extreme here, right? And David Goggins obviously isn't a boxer, but he's an incredibly fit man, and I think he's 45 now, he's in his 40s. But Manny Pacquiao's not your average man. You're talking about a super athlete here. Talking about someone who's looked after themselves. I don't think he hasn't abused his body, and you never ever see Manny Pacquiao fat or overweight or blowing up. He's always slim. He's always training. He's always doing basketball. So we have to take that in consideration in this fight. We can't judge Manny based on his age being 42 in a way that we would somebody, the average man. Now, of course, I'm trying to be non-biased. Of course, even with Manny's level of fitness, which is in the 5%, right? I mean, most men, even boxers, they're not in that kind of shape that he's in. He's a super athlete, right? But yeah, it's a risk. He could get knocked out. He could get beaten badly by Errol Spence. He could get old overnight. But it's easy for people to say, don't take the fight, but you're not the one who's getting in there, and you're not Manny. It's, if someone, I don't know how old you guys are, but if you were 40 or 42 and you wanted to go and strive for greatness in your life, and you've got someone saying, you shouldn't do it, man, it's risky, man, you're too old, how is that going to make you feel? You probably won't like that. You're going to want to prove people wrong. And look what Pacquiao done against Furman. Right, and I know people are going to say, well, Errol Spence is better than Furman. That's true. Errol Spence is a better fighter than Furman. But Furman's a great fighter, and he's big and strong. There's no 100% guarantee that Errol Spence would beat Furman. I'd definitely make Errol Spence a favourite. But what I'm saying is, Furman's on that level. He's on the level of all those guys. Sean Porter, Errol Spence, Crawford, and Pacquiao beat him convincingly, but it was a great effort on Furman's part. And look what everyone was saying, Pacquiao's going to lose, the betting. Look what he done. So don't write Manny off, you never know. It wouldn't surprise me if Pacquiao beat Spence. Now, of course, I make Errol Spence the favourite, as much as I'm biased in that I want Manny to win. He's my favourite fighter, but I promise I always try and be honest and tell the truth regardless of who I want to win. In this case, Pacquiao, right? But it's Manny Pacquiao, man. I mean, if I was in his position, you never have to worry about money again. Was he a billionaire? He's got millions, got a family. You've achieved something in the sport that no one has done. You're an 8-weight world champion. When you look at it like that, what's he got? Obviously, please God, he's going to be okay. His health will be all right. He'll come out. He'll be healthy. What's he got to lose? If he loses to Errol Spence, so what? People just say, well, Manny's old now. He got beaten by a younger guy. It happens in boxing. It can happen to anyone. Manny's choosing to go on further than his time, and his legacy is secured. Manny could go and lose 5 fights in a row. Ain't going to change anything. He's a legend. He's an 8-weight world champion, and the manner in which he's dismantled, he's been in with the best. Never ducked anyone. Never shied away when he's lost. He hasn't made excuses. He's been a gentleman. He's come back. He's won again, and in the style in which he's won. So for me, I can see from Manny's point of view that this is a fight that is worth taking the risk. Because if he beats Errol Spence, then all you guys won't be saying, oh, he's too old. You'll be saying, oh wow, he's amazing. He's this, he's that. So I still give Manny Pacquiao a good chance to win this fight, even though, I make Errol Spence the favourite, but it's not a foregone conclusion, And if Manny believes he can win, then I believe he can do it. I believe he can win, and he's got a good team. He's going to be in good shape. He's got a lot of experience, and if he turns up, and he's anything like the Pacquiao that beat Furman, then Errol Spence is in for a difficult night. But look, I'm being realistic and honest I can. Errol Spence is going to be tough for Pacquiao at this at this moment in time, even though I know Errol went through the car crash, but I thought he looked brilliant against Danny Garcia. He's an incredible human being. To overcome that mentally and get back in and win at the top level, beat a good fighter like Danny Garcia. And it looked like it was pretty easy for him. I was surprised. I expected Errol to be worse in that fight, but for me, he looked brilliant. But, you know, Sean Porter gave Errol Spence trouble. If it wasn't for Errol knocking him down, I'm not sure if he would have got the decision. So do not write Pacquiao off. That's one thing I've learned, is to never write the guy off, because he's proven the doubters wrong so many times. And, you know, they've been saying Pacquiao's old for years now. They were saying he was old when, you know, the fights before, you know, when he got robbed by Jeff Horn, which was a robbery in my opinion. They were saying he should hang the gloves up. When he got knocked out by Marquez, I think was it the third fight or the fourth one, they said he should pack it in, and he keeps proving their doubters wrong. So maybe Manny knows something that we don't, and it's going to be an incredible fight, you know. And if I was in his position, I'd probably take the fight. You know, you've got everything in life. You've got a great family. You know, you're a multi-millionaire or billionaire. You've achieved everything in boxing. What's to lose? If he loses, okay, he lost to the better man. Good luck to Errol Spence. And Manny's he's a proper warrior. He doesn't make excuses. And if it's a close fight, he's gonna get props. If Errol nicks it, you know, and it's a close fight, then what can you say? There's no shame in it. And look, I don't want to see it happen. I really don't want to see it. I don't think it will. But let's say he did get knocked out. Then it happens. It's boxing. It's happened to the best fighters in history. And I'm not usually one for fighters going on too long. But going off Pacquiao's last performance, he looked fine to me. He looked pretty good to me. He looked pretty powerful and fast. And he put Keith Thurman down in the first round with that shot, beautiful technique, and he nearly put him down with the body shots. He looked great, and he can still take a good punch. So, you know, going off his last fight, you can't really look at that and go, oh, he should retire. He looks like he was shot or he was slow. He looked great. So, you know, in a way, I kind of make this, I can't really give a percentage. I kind of make it a 50-50 fight, but I admit that Errol Spence, you're going to have to make him the favourite. But, you know, then again, who's Errol Spence been in who is as good as Pacquiao? Even at 42 years of age, yeah, Pacquiao's not prime, the guy that beat Cotto, but he's still an elite fighter. And if he wasn't, he would have got found out by Thurman. He would have got found out by Broner. I think people forget that, you know, Adrian Broner isn't he a 3 or 4 weight world champion in his own right? Pacquiao beat him easily. It was a sparring session for him. Broner was surviving in that fight. He just was doing everything. Credit. I thought Broner actually boxed quite a good fight, but he wasn't trading. He was scared of getting knocked out once he tasted the power. And Pacquiao made easy work of him. Broner's a young man again, 10 years his senior. So he's going through these young guys like a knife through butter. So why should we suggest that this is such a crazy fight? I don't think so. I think there's been crazier fights in boxing where fighters have gone on far too long than they should have. So I reckon Manny's got one more in him. And, you know, Teddy Atlas made a point which is interesting. He said, you know, maybe it's a good thing that Pacquiao has had quite long breaks in between fights, because it might serve him better, being that he is older now, and it has been almost 2 years it's going to be since he fought Thurman. He looked great in that fight. He was in great shape. So maybe it's better. Maybe he'd be burnt out if he was fighting more actively at this age. But, you know, you can't judge him. You can't. It's easy to say he's 42, but yeah, but he's not an average 42-year-old. He's not even a supremely fit. He's in a different league. He's in a different league. He's fit as hell. None of us are even close to that level. Let's be honest, we're all younger than him. And he put all of us to shame. And I know most of us are not boxers, but I'm just being honest. You can't judge Manny on his age in the same way that you judge another man who's 42, because he's a different specimen, you know. And boxers, I know from boxing at a low level, boxing as an amateur and sparring with professionals when I boxed years ago. And I was super fit in my own standard of what fit was, a lot fitter than I am now. But Pacquiao, that level of Pacquiao, Mayweather, Canelo, it's a different level. You know, these guys are way fitter than, you know, your average world champion boxer who is super fit. You know, all pros are fit. So you can't, if you're going to judge him, you've got to judge him accordingly. So what I'm saying is people are sometimes, they're judging him on age, where, yeah, he's 42. But, you know, Mayweather was 38 when he beat Manny Pacquiao. For a lot of people to say, oh, Mayweather's old, he didn't look old. Mayweather was fit as hell. And Pacquiao was 36. I watched that fight again last night, actually. Pacquiao was 36, Mayweather was 38. They weren't young. But look how long ago that was, and Pacquiao's still going. So until he actually physically gets old overnight, then we can say, yeah, Pacquiao's past it now. He should retire. He's gotten old overnight, and that remains to be seen. I can't say that. You can't know that for sure. You're not mind readers. We're not. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how he performs. But I'm excited, and I hope. Obviously, I hope none of them get seriously hurt. Errol Spence and Pacquiao. But I would love Pacquiao to get a knockout, a stoppage, or to win on points, or if anything, to give a great fight. If he loses, it would be great to see Pacquiao go out, you know, losing a close decision. And I really like Errol Spence. If he wasn't fighting Pacquiao in this fight, I'd be most likely supporting Errol. But it just happens that he's fighting my favourite fighter of all time. So I want Pacquiao to win this. But yeah, it's brilliant. That's what I like about Errol Spence, that he takes the fights. He doesn't duck. He doesn't avoid. He just keeps stepping up, and he's getting better and better. So I can't wait to see. I just realised, you know, these are two southpaws. So I'm just hoping that Manny is still quick, has got the speed. I think he will. I don't think he would have. I don't think his team would probably go ahead, Freddie Roach and Justin Fortune. I don't think they'd train him if they were worried and thought that he's too slow or he's lost his legs and speed. So yeah. So okay, breakdown in how the fight's going to go. It's a tough one, and I really don't know. So I'm just going to do the best I can. I think it's going to go two ways. I think either Errol's going to win quite convincingly on points. I don't think he's going to stop Manny. I think he's going to win through his jab and just doing what Errol Spence does best. I think it's going to go that way. And Pacquiao's going to be forcing it, and like he did against Mayweather, and trying to be aggressive, and maybe he won't be able to get through with as many because Errol's a bit younger, sharper. Or it's totally going to go the other way, and Pacquiao's going to do to Errol similar, what he done to Thurman. He's just going to shock everyone. He's going to shock all of us, prove us all wrong to a certain extent, and he's going to just be firing, and he's going to hurt Errol, and he's going to overwhelm him, and he's going to take some tough shots in there, obviously. You can't avoid every one of Errol's shots. He's just too good. And maybe it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. Maybe it's going to be one of them. But Pacquiao comes out for his experience and his relentlessness and wins it. So that's my prediction. I've gone Errol to win in that way, and I've gone Pacquiao to win in emphatic fashion. So I've tried to be as fair as I can and non-biased. That's what my brain is going back and forward. Pacquiao, Errol. It's a little bit like that, and you know, I can't be any more honest than that. So let me know what your thoughts are in the box below. Pacquiao fans or non-Pacquiao fans, and I appreciated all the comments on the other video. Now, I promise to probably knock it on the head with putting boxing videos on this channel, because it's not a boxing channel. I'm going to put the boxing videos on my original boxing channel, but because it's such a big event and Pacquiao's an icon and Errol Spence is a brilliant fighter, I wanted to do it on this channel because I've got more subscribers here, more fans, and I wanted to make more noise, get more comments, more conversation, and you know, I'm excited about the fight. So let's talk boxing either on this channel or the next one, and let me know what your thoughts are in the box below. If you completely disagree with me, fine, that's good. It's good to have varied opinions, and if you agree with me, that's great as well. I'm not fussed. All right, become fearless. Talk to you soon.